Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. and I'll call to order the Board of Directors regular meeting for Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. May I have a roll call, please?
Director Meyerhoffen,
Present.
Director Duff,
Present.
Director Martin,
Present.
Vice President Griffith,
Present.
President Sewell.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Seeing that all 5 directors are present, we'll skip item 3. Item 4, Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd please rise. Director Martin, would you like to lead us?
Sure. Place your hand over your heart and join me in saluting our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 5, Rules of Procedure. Counselor?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. All notice meetings are conducted using Rosenberg's Rules of Order as the procedural guidelines. Directors should refrain from responding directly to public comments at meetings of the board. The president of the board presides at all meetings and decides all points of order and procedure during the meetings. The president is responsible for maintenance of order and decorum at all board meetings. No person should be allowed to speak who has not been recognized by the president. All questions and remarks should be addressed to the president as the presiding officer. No member of the board should speak more than once upon any one subject until every other member of the board wishing to speak on the subject has been heard. No board member shall interfere with the orderly progress of a board meeting.
Thank you. Item 6, Public Input. This is the opportunity for members of the public to address the board on matters within the board's jurisdiction. Please limit comments to 3 minutes or less. State law prohibits the board from discussing or taking action on any item not listed on the agenda. Do we have any members of the public wishing to address the board?
President Sewell, we do not.
Okay, thank you. Employee recognition, Human Resources Report, General Manager.
Yes, thank you, President Sewell. Oriana Hoffart, our Human Resources Manager, will be giving this report. Oriana?
Thank you, General Manager Macy. Good afternoon, President Sewell, members of the board. For the month of January, we have 1 new hire and 2 accomplishments to highlight. Please join us in welcoming John Key as the newest member of our team. John brings valuable experience in heavy equipment operations and holds a Class A driver's license. To provide further introduction, his supervisor, Field Operations Superintendent Jeff Nutter, will share more about John's background and role.
Good afternoon, President Sewell, members of the board. Like Oriana was saying, he comes to us with some experience in heavy equipment, already had his Class E license, which is a big help for us nowadays, trying to, get the training in does take some time. So big benefit. We look forward to what he has to offer us. So far, he's quickly picked up all aspects of C&M, very mechanically inclined, which helps a lot. He's, changed out services, valves. He's seen a lot for the first, few weeks he's been here. So, and he showed a lot of good skills that we're going to need for the future. So welcome, John. If you want to say anything, you're more welcome to address the board.
Hello, everyone. My name is John, obviously. I just want to take a minute to say thank you to everybody for allowing me to come in and hire me in. I really appreciate it. I look forward to learning a lot more. I feel like I've learned a lot already, and just want to become a great employee for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Next, I am pleased to congratulate Adrian Perea, Field Operations Technician 1, on successfully obtaining his Water Distribution Grade 2, also known as D2, certification. Adrian has been a valued member of the district for 3 years and also holds a Cal OSHA 30 boom lift and scissor lift certifications. Here to say a few words about Adrian is again Field Operations Superintendent Jeff Nutter.
Like Oriana was saying, Adrian's been here 3 years now, and in those 3 years, he's been very active, very busy on everything that has to do with construction maintenance. The guy, he does everything and anything at any given time. whether it's after hours, if we have something that comes in at the end of the day, Adrian's the one that will always volunteer to stay and help out the crew and the staff. So, with his D2, holds, some good promises for the future for him, I hope. As long as he keeps up the good work and hard work ethic, people look up to him the way he works. I know, he is one of my guys. I really look at his work ethics and, try to instill that in everybody because it's spot on what he does. So thanks for everything you do, Adrian. You want to get up and say something? You can, if not.
Hello, everyone. Adrian, thank you, Jeff. I just want to say thank you to everyone. Not very well speaking from people, but I just want to, like I said before, I just want to say thank you once again, and having a great time here. Love the job, and I don't plan on going anywhere else anytime soon. So, like I said before, love the job and plan on staying here. Thank you, everyone.
Great.
Congratulations.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Last but not least, I would also like to congratulate William Witten, business analyst, on successfully earning his water distribution grade 2, D2 certification. William has been with the district for nearly a year and holds a bachelor's degree in administration with a concentration in accounting. Here to share a few words about William is Assistant General Manager Marian Champion.
Thank you, Oriana. Good afternoon, President Sewell, members of the board. It gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Will. Will, as Oriana said, just joined us a little over a year ago as a temporary employee and then became a full employee about a year ago. I like to think of him as my Swiss Army knife. When I have something that comes across my desk and I'm not sure exactly what to do with it, or I need someone to do some research, Will is my go-to guy. His certification kind of goes to that. He's got a background in finance, but he wants to continue learning the water industry, and he's really committed to being here. And this certification really goes along with that. He's been very instrumental in a lot of our reporting, the conservation as a way of life, our fleet electrification information, and he's just really throwing himself into the district wholeheartedly. And I believe Will is on Zoom and would like to say a few words. Will?
Yes, thank you, Marion. And as Marion stated, yes, I see the certification as furthering my understanding of the industry as I am new to it. And I just want to say thank you to everyone, including the board and district management, for all of their support, and look forward to continuing my journey here at Mission Springs Water District. Thank you.
Thank you, Will.
This concludes our HR report for today. We sincerely appreciate and commend these employees for their dedication and commitment to the district and our customers. Thank you.
Thank you. Photo time. Thank you. Do we want to take a screenshot with Will? But no, welcome to John, and congratulations to Adrian and Will. I think every month I say this, but it seems like our team's only getting stronger and stronger. And also congratulations to all the anniversaries. No milestones, but yep. Thank you, guys. Moving on to action items. Item 8, public hearing ordinance 2025-01, establishing a procedure for property owner objections to be proposed to proposed water sewer fees or special assessments. This is a time and place to solicit the public's input in respect to Mission Springs Water District's ordinance 2025-01, establishing a procedure for property owner objections to proposed water sewer fees or special assessments. The public hearing will be declared open, and staff will provide the reports. I will then call for comments from the public. During this time, there will be no back and forth conversation between the public and the board and staff. Questions will be noted and addressed after all public comments have been received. The public hearing will then be closed and the board may discuss if it is necessary. I declare the public hearing open. Secretary's report, please.
Notice of public hearing was posted to the Desert Sun on January 31st and February 7th. There have been no comments or protests on this item.
Thank you. And we have a staff report from Assistant General Manager.
We do.
Good afternoon again. Right now, I have just a quick PowerPoint presentation, very similar to what we gave on Thursday. Basically just outlining the Prop 218 bill AB 2257, which was aqua lead. Next slide, please. And really, this was the source of this legislation was because of Prop 218 and the issues that we've had from an administrative perspective when it comes to lawsuits. This really creates an administrative exhaustion defense under the prior law. The goal of this is to provide a clear and more defensible framework for water agencies to follow, thus mitigating the risks associated with Prop 218 lawsuits. Next slide, please. To implement AB 2257 after January 1st, MSWD or any other water agency needed to issue a resolution or ordinance and have it approved by their board, which is what we're doing today, this first step. At the heart, though, of this new procedure is public participation. In no way does it change the fundamental aspect of Prop 218, which is essential to our democratic process of water management. By fostering an environment of transparency and open dialogue, AB 2257 helps build trust between water agencies and the communities we serve. There are 6 key steps to go ahead and create this exhaustive procedure. The first is what we're doing today, adopt the ordinance or resolution. Next, you would do your noticing when you do get ready to do a special assessment, or if you're going to do a rate change, you will have to make sure you notice that, and we would notice it as part of our Prop 218 process. We would then open up a period where we will accept objections. Once the objections have all been collected, we'll have a response document. That response document would then be heard in a public hearing process where we would put that information out to the public and they would see answers to any of the objections they have submitted. And then finally, the board of directors would be asked to do an adoption of the rate and or the assessment. This whole model process is modeled after the CEQA process, which is a tried and true process that water districts follow already. This is kind of an overview of that timeline. You can see it dovetails in with our Prop 218 timeline, so we'll be able to do them both simultaneously at the same time. And that way we really will not be adding any extra time to what we normally do with the Prop 218, but we just give the public more options for transparency and also more options to have their voice be heard. With that, that's the end of my presentation. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Great, thank you. And do we have any members of the public wishing to speak on this item?
President Sewell, we do not.
Okay, and with no further speakers, I'll close public comment. We'll do that after I close the public comment.
Oh, okay, great.
So the public comment session is closed, and now we can discuss as a board. Any questions or comments, Director Martin?
Yeah, I was wondering, I've always looked at 218 as being a positive thing for the voters because it gives them an opportunity to weigh in on rate increases, et cetera. Have we experienced any litigation or legal action as a result of the 218 process here at the water district?
I'm not aware of Mission Springs having any issues with this, but we do have some neighboring utilities here in the district or here within the Coachella Valley that have pending litigation very similar to this. And while this doesn't make it bulletproof to where we'll have no chance of having a lawsuit, this does minimize the chances of having a lawsuit.
Director Martin?
So I like Proposition 218. I hope that the budget we're working on right now is being done under those guidelines. I'm not quite sure if it is, but I hope it is. Because it makes you spell everything out. And later on down the road, if we have to use it, we already have it done. We don't have to pay to do it again. It appears that this is more of a, I don't really like having to say this, but it appears that we're doing this to protect the district from the customers that we serve. And I kind of think that's a sad thing. We just do what we're supposed to be doing. We won't have to worry about lawsuits. Thank you.
Director Duff?
I just want to thank you for the proactive work on this and acting as quickly as you did. I think we're less than 60 days from when Aqua announced this very important bill. To clarify just a little bit, this step is simply preventing someone who chose not to participate in all of these proceedings and all of these opportunities to come speak after all is said and done to then enter a lawsuit. Is that correct?
Yes, that's the idea behind this.
That's-
It just gives them one more place where they can voice concerns.
Perfect. So I agree. 218 is a process that allows great transparency opportunities. However, there are people who will choose to let all of those exhaustive processes to go through, and then after the rate change or the assessment district is created, they then choose to contest it in the courts, which cost ratepayers and all of us money. So I am very supportive of acting this way and getting this language in. So thank you again for your hard work.
Vice President?
Thank you for bringing this. You and I have worked on this for a while. I don't know how long ago we talked about this, maybe even last May, we started the process and really kind of, thanks to Aqua, we had the format really laid out easier for us. So thank you for bringing this forward, and I'm glad that we have this.
And I'll just say, I really appreciate your comments, Director Duff. This is, I think, beneficial for not only the district, but for our customers as well. So if no further discussion, I would move to approve ordinance 2025-01.
I would second.
We have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Director Meyerhoffen,
No,
Director Duff,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith.
Aye.
President Sewell.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 9, adoption of MSWD Artificial Intelligence Policy number 2025-01. It is recommended that the Board of Directors adopt the MSWD Artificial Intelligence Policy number 2025-01. General Manager?
Thanks. Thank you, President Sewell. We do have a presentation from our Assistant General Manager, Marion Champion. Marion?
Thank you, General Manager Macy. We did do a presentation last Thursday, but I did want to bring one small change that we've made to the policy after we received input from the board. In section D, where we talk about responsibility of all users, we talked a little bit about the authorization to install other software, AI software on your computer. That was a concern that some of the board members did express, being concerned that employees may be trying to install this software in our district. And so we went ahead and strengthened that language and we put it together there. Again, this is all, very fast moving right now. I do anticipate this policy will continue to change over time, but this gives us a good step forward, and it allows our working group, our pilot group, to really start fleshing out where the district takes the AI.
Any discussion, Director Duff?
Great work.
Vice President? Director Martin? Director Meyerhoffen?
thank you for all your effort.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move we adopt the MSWD Artificial Intelligence Policy number 2025-1.
I'll second it.
Who wants it?
Give it
All
to
right.
him.
We have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Director Meyerhoffen,
Yes,
Director Duff,
Aye.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith.
Aye.
President Sewell.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 10, award of contract to Borden Excavating Incorporated for GQPP Assessment District 18 Area D3 Sewer Construction and Water Line Replacement Project and Capital Budget Augmentation. It is recommended that the general manager be authorized to award a contract for the GQPP Area Assessment District 18 Area D3 Sewer Construction and Waterline Replacement Project to the lowest responsible bidder, Board and Excavating Incorporated, in the amount of $5,252,252 plus a 10% contingency, augment the capital improvement budget amount to $1,820,622.20 for job number 11876, and to do all things necessary to complete the project, including but not limited to preparation and filing of a notice of exemption to comply with CEQA requirements. General Manager?
Thank you, President Sewell. As you may recall, on Thursday, we had a very good discussion about this particular project and the funding for this project, as well as what it would potentially cost the residents in AD 18 or D3 in this location. Because of that discussion, staff is asking for no action at this time. I did not want to pull the item because I wanted to see if there was any additional comments or any questions the board may have. Our plan moving forward, we do have a defined window when these bids stay valid, if you will, and we have action, but we did want to reach out to legal and also to our outreach consultant to answer some of the questions that the board brought to us on Thursday, just so we'd be a little bit be more prepared. With the holiday yesterday, we didn't have a chance to get all those answers. So our plan is to bring it back to you as a workshop item and then bring it back. I believe it's on March 11th is the workshop. So we'll bring this item back to you then, have more discussion, be able to answer some of those questions about how we would do an outreach if we did want to go back out to the D3 residents for a different assessment district than what was previously passed, as those costs are increased to a substantial amount, but also legalities and stuff like that, and all the other questions were brought up. So with that being said, we're able to answer any questions. Eric's got the spreadsheet ready to go. We've got the PowerPoint presentation we gave on Thursday, but in reality, we're not asking for any action at this time.
And are we looking to take action at that workshop, or is it just more informative?
It will be more informative, more of an open discussion, and then depending on how that discussion goes, then we'll move forward, possibly bringing this back to you in the March meeting.
Discussion, question or comments, Director Martin? Director Meyerhoffen?
I'll wait for the workshop.
Director Duff?
Can we make sure that we address the grant that will expire March 31st? Did we look into whether that could be applied anywhere else, or?
That is something we're also working on. So I apologize. I mentioned two others, but that was a third component that we
Thank
wanted
you.
to see.
That was the only thing.
The 78 million or 78,000, I forget what the exact number is one of them. The other component's the much larger one. We wanted to hold on to both of them if we could. We're pretty sure we can hold on to the other one, but that smaller one, we'll work through that as well.
Thank you.
Vice President?
No.
And I have nothing further. Thank you. Item 11, board acceptance of a contract change order with JF Shea for the construction of the Nancy Wright Regional Wastewater Reclamation Facility. It is recommended that the general manager be authorized to execute a contract change order with JF Shea Construction Incorporated for additional costs due to unforeseen tasks and field issues during construction of the Nancy Wright Regional Water Reclamation Facility in the amount of $1,698,569. General Manager?
Thank you, President Sewell. On Thursday, during our study session, we gave a presentation regarding some of the responses that we had to the board's questions, both at the workshop, study session, and last board meeting. We also provided a memo, which is here for the public, from TKE that addresses specific questions. Also, on the Zoom call, we have Steve Ledbetter from TKE. We have Rafael Torres from JF Shea. They were both present on Thursday, as well as Eric Weck, General Manager. If you have any further questions regarding this change order or any other things that you heard on Thursday.
Okay. Director Duff, questions or comments?
I will keep my comments and questions very short today. The only one I have is whether or not, just by chance, there was any change in Mr. Torres's heart about meeting me anywhere on that $300,000 mark we had discussed. I have to ask just because I have to. But other than that, thank you all for all the work that you put into answering our questions.
Hello, this is Raphael with JF Shea. There currently is no change on the value.
Vice President? No. Director Martin? Director Meyerhoff?
I'd just like to thank you for working with us. And I know you guys took a big hit on the lowering the price down of and redoing things. And I just appreciate you working with us. Thank you.
And I just want to also say thank you and to not just JF Shea, but also to TKE and our staff for all the work we've gone back and forth during the negotiations. I believe this was our largest project we've ever done for the district.
By far, yes.
I just appreciate all the work that went into it. And with that, do we have a motion for the item?
So move.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Director Meyerhoffen,
Yes,
Director Duff,
Aye.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith,
No.
President Sewell.
Yes,
Thank you. Motion passes.
thank you. And real quick, I'll give a welcome to our council member, Jan Pai. You just missed our public comment, but did you have any comments or anything you wanted to do? Thank you so much. Moving on to discussion items. Item 12, Critical Services Center and Administrative Building Update. General Manager.
Just a very quick update. There are two issues that we're working with the city and our consultants to resolve. One of them is fire protection for the site. There is a water line that will have to be installed down Park. We were working with at a meeting today with the city talking about potentially behind the library being a development that we're going to hopefully work with them to make sure we both get adequate fire protection. The 8-inch is that's currently there will not provide that, so we'll have to increase the size and run it down Park. And then also working with the city to try to negotiate some type of roadway easement from the school that has been required as the approval plan. And then the question is, if we don't get that easement from the school, hopefully that won't stop our project. And we just want to make sure that we're in lockstep with the city in making that determination. So those are the last two items that we're working on with the consultant. But I will continue to bring those items to you as we resolve each one of them.
Thank you. Any questions or comments, Director Martin? Director Meyer? Director Duff? Vice President?
Did you have that meeting,
I'm sorry, the meeting.
city manager, that you were gonna have?
I've had a couple of different meetings with the city. Today's meeting was with the development director, but yes, I did have the meeting with the city and the city manager, and we did talk about a variety of things.
Did you explain why we cannot pay for the other half of the street by law?
It was more about the easement, not necessarily paying for the other side of the street.
So you haven't had that conversation yet?
No, not particularly that, only because we don't even have the easement yet to do that. And we know that the other side of the street is going to be paved and curbed by the development across the street. So that's not the issue. It's just the one in front of the school area, which is only maybe, I forget exactly how many linear feet, but
I know which area it is, but we had that conversation.
correct. I've not broached that subject with the city and what the requirements could and cannot be and what we're willing to pay for.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
General Manager, do we have any idea of what the cost is for doing half of the street? And why, I don't quite understand why, if we're building first, why is the county responsible for doing the street? We're building first, correct?
Correct.
Okay. My understanding is whoever builds first takes care of all that and then reimbursed by the next guy. So in this case, it would be to be reimbursed by the county if we do the street. But we're not even sure if we're doing the street or if we're even going to be able to build because of this easement.
Correct. That's why we continue to work with the city as part of the conditions of approval. As far as we getting compensated and who was first, that was not contemplated in the conditions of approval because at the time they thought these projects would be closer aligned.
So I don't quite understand because I've been asking about the street and sewer and storm drains. And so we spent all this money before we worked with the school district to see about that easement. And we knew about this easement all along, correct?
No, we did not. It was part of the conditions of approval that we recently received from the city.
So the city is the one that told us.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Moving on to item 13, groundwater protection program update. General Manager?
Yes, I think Steve Ledbetter would like to provide a little bit of an update of where we are with the conveyance line and commissioning of the wastewater treatment facility. Steve?
Yes, good afternoon, President Sewell, members of the board. We've been working diligently with JF Shea at the treatment plant, getting ready for initial plant startup for the last month and a half, as well as the conveyance line contractor, Downing Construction, to complete the remaining portions of the conveyance line and finish their testing of the sewer line over the last month and a half since we got approval of the Edison easement to begin construction there. I'm happy to report that the pipeline work has been completed, tested, and is in place, ready for operation. The last month and a half, JF Shea has worked through all the different aspects of the treatment plant, making sure everything's functioning as it should. And we have approval from the regional board to do our transfer of initial wastewater flows starting next Monday from the Horton plant down to the regional plant to begin the formal startup and operations at the regional plant. So we're happy to report that, and we'll be circling back with Mission Spring staff and the board as that rolls out over the next several weeks.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments, Director Duff? Vice President? Director Martin? Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Item 14, DWA Mission Creek Basin Replenishment Assessment Charge Report. We did on Thursday. Anything further?
No.
As well as item 15, Federal Affairs. Anything?
Correct. That was handled on Thursday and nothing additional to report.
Okay. Thank you. The consent agenda this month consists of item 16, approval of minutes, and item 17, register of demands. Did anyone want to pull either of those items to discuss? Do we have a motion to approve?
We approve consent agenda.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Director Meyerhoffen,
Yes.
Director Duff,
Aye.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith.
Aye.
President Sewell.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 18, director's reports. Anyone like to go first?
Go ahead.
Director Martin?
Okay, on the 9th of January, attended the Desert Valley Builders Association legislative meeting. Nothing new to report there. On the 17th, attended the Aqua 9 Region 9 tour of the Nancy Wright Regional Water Treatment Facility plus a meeting. I think enough has been said about that encounter. On the 25th, I attended the Corb's dinner and awards event. Very impressed that we won 4 awards. Our water district did, and more than anybody else that was present for community engagement. Thank you, Marianne. Operator of the Year, Joy McElrone. Collection System Person of the Year, Grant Fournier. And Young Professional Award for our intern, Jeremy Minrehe. I know I'm going to get that wrong. Minrejes. On the 29th, attended the CASA conference, and things that stuck out in my mind are the breakout sessions were the Federal Legislative Committee meeting. There was a lot of info throughout the conference on artificial intelligence, renewable energy, innovative techniques, state legislative meeting, and an election debriefing. All very interesting topics. On the 13th, Desert Valley Builders Association board meeting. Nothing new to report there. On the 4th, Ted and I took a tour of the Skyborn development. Some very impressive homes being built and maintaining the reputation of Desert Hot Springs as being the fastest growing community in the Coachella Valley. On the 16th, attended the countywide, Riverside Countywide Oversight Board meeting, and it was a very worth a lot of work on that meeting. We approved the recognized obligation payment schedule and administrative budget for the cities of Banning, Blythe, Corona, Desert Hot Springs, Hemet, Indian Wells, Indio, Moreno Valley, city of Murrieta, the city of Norco, Palm Desert, Paris, Rancho Mirage, San Jacinto, Temecula, Cathedral City, and the county of Riverside. So it was a very busy, busy meeting for that. And let's see. On the 21st city council meeting, I attended virtually. Nothing to report there. On the 27th, the Cabot's board meeting. We reelected our president, Jeff Bowman, and they reelected the vice president, Haddon Libby. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Director Meyerhoffen?
Yes, thank you. Attended the Region 9 tour board meeting. It was a nice time with the folks from Region 9. And there's a few comments about how big our treatment plan is in comparison to another district's treatment plant that was half the size, and they paid more money than we did. So we did pretty good with our treatment plant when you look at it that way. You gotta have use a computer, you'll be all right. The CASA conference was 3 days long, and I was impressed with how some of the new technology is trying to come into play and how they're amending the soil, or want to amend the soil with our waste and even the food waste. But the thing that concerns me is how are they getting along with the farmers? The farmer had to run them off their property already. The farmers really know how to take care of the soil, and it has to do with crop yield. So I was really concerned with, they're amending the soil, but there's no true nutrients in the soil that they're using. So how that works out for the farmer, I'm not sure. The next one here is, that's all I really attended. The planning commission was canceled. Non-payable events at Skyborn Tour. They have some really nice homes out there, and that was a nice little tour. And Director Martin he already mentioned, was there. And that's really all I have for this meeting, because I really wasn't feeling that good, so I couldn't make it to a couple of other ones.
Thank you. Director Duff?
There we go. Thank you, President Sewell. Let's see, for January 9th, I attended the CBAG Coachella Valley Conservation Committee meeting, and they purchased 2 parcels here in Desert Hot Springs, making up 148.5 acres, right at the north corner of Mission Lakes Boulevard and Indian Canyon. Right as it goes toward the 62, that entire corner parcel where the creek cuts through, they have just finalized their purchase, and they did so for 1.7 million. They also had a review of their annual financial audit, and they had ended their fiscal year with 5.4 million in the bank. And that's just the Conservation Committee. Also on the 9th, I attended by Zoom the Aqua Sigma Implementation Committee meeting. They reviewed the CV salts program, discussed some of the nutrient changes that are potentially coming down the pike from a regulatory standpoint. And then they talked about various different programs in our state held by various different entities. One was, sorry, my writing, I apologize. One was Orange County Water, and the other was the SAPA, Santa Ana Watershed Authority. And the projects that they have done to remove the Colorado River salts that we all inherently get when we exchange our Met water for Colorado River water, what they're doing in some of the programs that they've done and some of the simple tools that they've used. I even forwarded to Director Bowman because it was very interesting. Also on the 17th, had a meeting with the Assistant Superintendent Jeff Simmons at Palm Springs Unified School District. I had some parent issues as well as resident issues, but I also addressed some complaints that the parents had about our drinking water in some of our Desert Hot Springs schools. Found out that our schools were lacking in the chilled water fountains for filling up the bottles. During COVID, all the bubblers got removed, but each school got maybe 2 or so of the water fillers for 700 students plus the staff. So they're going to work on increasing that, which is nice. And I also spoke to them about some of the irrigation problems that the schools have in Desert Hot Springs specifically, where they're irrigating nothing. The plants have died and been removed, but they're still watering it and creating erosion. And when we're attending the schools there as educators, and Marion and staff are going to talk to them about the kids about, water savings and how to tell your parents when they've got a leak and what to do. And they walk out of the classroom and that's what they see. It kills me, you guys. So anyway, we had a great meeting though, and it was very productive. And I've already heard back that one elementary school is getting an extra bubbler last week actually got installed. So very nice. On the 17th, I also attended the Region 9 tour of our facility and the board meeting that was held here. Again, I won't go into any more details of everything that went on there, but it's always nice to be with our Region 9 family. On the 22nd, I attended a town hall meeting at Mission Lakes Country Club regarding their assessment district, and we were giving the community an update. Staff did a fantastic job answering their questions. They want this done. They want us to get in there and get this done, and we want to get this done. So they've begged us to call Army Corps of Engineers every day, every week, do whatever we can do. And I'm telling you, we are doing everything that we can do. We want it just as badly as you do. And it was a great opportunity to meet my neighbors there. Also attended the San Gorgonio Pass Water Alliance on the 22nd by Zoom. We had a lot of conversation and presentations for the year end for the various watersheds there. San Gorgonio Watershed talked about, or Water Authority talked about a new customer that they attained in the Central Valley, the Wonderful Company, and the very good rate they were able to sell. I believe it was 4,000 acre feet of water to. Wish it would stay here in our area, but they had a very lucrative sale with the Wonderful Company up there. And then the city of Banning provided an update on their Chromium-6 studies. They're going to be making some additional changes to their study parameters at the request of the state. And then, and the flood control was also in attendance, and they talked about how they're working with the GSA to discuss and analyze the debris flows since Hillary and the various fires in Riverside County that have left scarred land and the debris flow concern that the flood district has. And they promised to keep us updated. Also attended on the 25th, the Corps dinner with Director Martin. I won't go into a lot as he already discussed all of our employees who were acknowledged, but I do want to acknowledge our wastewater team as a whole. It warms me to be around a group of people that truly treat each other like family. And the way that our team members that were there took care of Garrett, Mr. Fournet's son, and his wife and family, and the way that they take care of each other every day, I think is a testament not only to them as a department, but to their leadership. And I am very grateful to witness their team flourish. And with that, I also attended the CASA conference in Palm Springs, and I think that they made a lot of comments already about that. There was a lot of discussion about AI and very detailed. I again give it to the wastewater folks. You don't mess around. You're talking words I can't pronounce that I had to look up to figure out what they were and all the regulations. Very impressed. And I'm learning a lot at these conferences. So again, thank you. And that's it.
Thank you. Vice President?
I guess I had an easy month. On the 7th, I attended a DWA board meeting. They did board elections. So Paul Ortega is again the president, Jeff Bowman is vice president, and secretary treasurer is Kristen Bloomer. They had a late claim appeal from a company that said that they had damage from a water line or something that leaked. That was denied because they filed way past the deadline. They had another claim that was denied. It was a slip and fall claim from someone who was walking on a sidewalk and slipped because someone's irrigation was on the sidewalk. And so the question was, why are they suing DWA when it would be probably the homeowner? But that was denied. They also talked about a net zero energy plan. Looking into that, I know we have done some PPA stuff, which is really helping us towards that. But Gerald McKenna is very, very big on that, and he has really pushed for them to actually take a look at it. And so they're finally really kind of looking at what they can do to possibly reach net zero or at least close to it. So I did attend the Aquanine region tour. Did not attend the meeting. That was on the 17th. That was a very cold morning. Director Meyerhoffen and I actually got there before the bus and stood outside, and I was not aware it was going to be that cold down there. Director Meyerhoffen had a really, really nice MSWD jacket that kept him nice and warm, but some of us were never given that, so we froze.
Should have asked.
And then on the Thursday, I did a CSD webinar. It's our standard contract. I understand the basic contracts, and it was a really kind of elementary class that talked about the basics of a contract. But I want to see in there if there was anything that I could kind of gain. You can always learn more knowledge. I didn't see anything in there about having to have, it's the industry standard of 10% profit on your meeting. So gives me the idea that we need to maybe take a look at our contracts and be a little more specific about those kind of things. I don't know that we should be paying variances on meetings. So I'm probably going to hammer home on that constantly. So you can glare, but that's going to, that is your life for the next year. Just warning you. That was it.
Thank you. I have a couple. One I actually forgot to add to my comp report, but that was January 28th CVWD board meeting. They had an item regarding eminent domain for a flood control project. They're hoping to procure about 5 acres of land in Thousand Palms. There's quite a bit of discussion, but it was tabled for a future meeting. And their most recent meeting, they did not discuss it, so probably their upcoming meeting. They were also considering increasing their board's compensation and are directing staff to get more data. And then our own Andy Grunnett was complimented by their board member, Peter Nelson, regarding the Aqua Region 9 tour that he attended. And then the 29th through the 31st, I attended the CASA conference. Overall, I thought it was a great conference. I did a tour of the East Valley Sterling Center and their treatment plant. I really liked how they're able to use a portion of the land as a resource for their community. They have a huge community center. The treatment plant is basically right next to a high school and pretty much downtown. And to, I guess, make it less unappealing, they have half of the areas set as this conference center, and residents can rent it out, and just a lot of open space. Their plant, though, is currently doing about 6 million gallons a day, and it was interesting to see what a larger plant can do. Even though they have that 6 million gallons a day, they're still supplementing their digesters with food waste, but they're able to generate enough biogas to basically power the plant. And then another part of the conference I really enjoyed was there was a political session where they had given an outlook on the current administration and what to expect moving forward. And they had two different presenters who had different points of view. but I think that was just interesting to see. The conference this year compared to last CASA conference I attended wasn't quite as over my head, but I'm glad that as a board we're participating on the wastewater side more and just increasing our knowledge. And that is all I have. Moving on to item 19, General Manager's Report. We have the Finance and Public Affairs Report today.
Only the public affairs report, and I'll have her go first, and then I'll talk about the finance report as well as two other key points that I want to bring up.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, board. Today I have just a quick brief update for you on the Public Affairs Department. Go ahead, next slide. We'll start to talk about events. As you can see, we have ramped up. We're starting to get a lot more events right now. A couple that I wanted to point out was mentioned earlier, the Mission Lakes Country Club Groundwater Protection Project update. We had about 50 residents who attended that event. They also live streamed it on Facebook. They got a status update and the septic to sewer there in the Mission Lakes Country Club area. The residents asked numerous questions and they showed a very high engagement. So I think that you were spot on, Director Duff, and what you said, that they are very, very interested in this project and they'd like to see it move forward. Another event that I wanted to bring out was the annual Palm Springs Unified School District Science and Engineering Fair. This was the first year that Mission Springs Water District was invited to participate as a judge. So this was for all of Palm Springs Unified. And it featured very impressive projects from students ranging from 3rd to 12th grade. And we presented the MSWD Outstanding Achievement in Water Innovation Award to Thea B., an 8th grader from Raymond Creed Middle School, for her extraordinary work exploring water filtration methods. So that was a really fun event. I also wanted to highlight a lunch and learn that we did with the Jewish Family Services Center of the Desert there at the Senior Center in Desert Hot Springs. We talked to attendees about local water quality and state regulation updates, including Chromium 6. And we engaged with a very attentive and interactive group. And it really just emphasized our commitment to educating and engaging with our community. Looking to the future, we have several things coming up in the next month. It's a very busy slide, but the first I wanted to bring your attention to Black History Month Food Drive. We'll be doing that next week, February 24th through 28th. We'll have a box in our lobby and we'll be promoting the collection of non-perishable goods for distribution within our community. Also, we have a blood drive next week on February 26th. Appointments are still available, so I encourage anyone who's able to come out and give. Also, the first week of March, we'll be doing something with Desert X. They have several of their projects up here in Desert Hot Springs this year. And so they reached out to us to be a water sponsor, and then we'll be doing their closing ceremonies here in Desert Hot Springs. So it's a good year for us to participate and help sponsor that event. Several other community events planned include the Women's Fashion Club show and then the Big Hearts Rotary event. This year's Big Hearts MSWD Person of the Year will be Jeff Nutter, who's demonstrated service above self for the past 30 years as he's worked here at Mission Springs Water District, many of the time working after hours, making sure that our community has access to clean drinking water. So I can't think of another person that's more worthy of that service above self award. Next slide. Looking towards March, we're also going to do 2 public tours. We'll be doing those on March 18th and 19th, and we'll be taking residents to several of our different locations, showing them wells, reservoir, booster pumps, our solar field, and a wastewater treatment facility. We had done tours before here at Mission Springs in the past, but we had paused them during COVID, and so this is our first chance to bring that back into the public. The tours will be free, and we'll have a sign up available online starting this Thursday on February 20th. Because space will be limited, I am encouraging people to reserve those seats right away. Next, something that came out of our workshop is the See Something, Say Something campaign. We've already started that with our first social media post, but we are really trying to work with our community to let them know that we're here. If you see something, please let us know. Even if it's on a customer side, if it's on a backflow device, we want to know about it. We want to be able to check it out, trying to get that dialogue and that two-way communication with our customers. We'll also be highlighting this See Something, Say Something in our next newsletter. It'll be across the masthead. Next slide. And speaking of newsletters, as I said, our February newsletter is going to be the The masthead will be See Something, Say Something. We'll talk about our Corbs Awards. And then we're also going to be talking about the watering schedule as it's been a little bit cooler lately. We want to make sure people are adjusting their times for their watering. And of course, we'll take the opportunity to promote our smart controllers with that. Next slide. Lastly, I just have two quick legislative updates. Since our board packet was put together, we've had two pieces of legislation that have been introduced. The first is at the federal level. It's a reintroduction of the Water Systems PFAS Liability Protection Act, and this was introduced on February 12th of 2025. The legislation aims to protect passive receivers like water and wastewater utilities from liability from PFAS contamination. The bill provides statutory protections for utilities to avoid financial liability due to the EPA's designation of PFOA and PFOS as hazardous substances. The proposal is a reintroduction of HR 7944, which was originally introduced in April of 2024. And then second, I know we've spoken at length on this, but I did want to let you know that last Friday, the water theft bill was introduced by Senator Ben Allen as Senate Bill 394, and we will continue to monitor it and participate in any opportunities to promote the bill in the coming weeks and months. And that's the end of my update this month. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments, Director Martin?
Good job, Mary.
Thank you.
Director Martin? Director Duff?
Great job. Can you forward that list of upcoming, or what page is that on, the upcoming events that you showed here?
It should be mostly on your calendar that Dory sends out, but I'll have her double check in case we're missing anything.
Well, if you could just send me that slide, that'd be great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Vice President?
The girl that won at the science fair, was she the one that used cotton as one of the filtration?
I don't know. I wasn't there. Dory actually participated as our judge.
Okay. They talked about it at DWA this morning, and so it was pretty impressive.
They also had an award. I'm not sure who they.
I don't know that if it was their award. They talked about the science fair and about the person who had multiple types of filtration, including cotton, and so.
I think that was the one that we gave
That's
our.
what I was thinking,
yes.
because the board.
That was her.
Thank you.
her, yeah.
Thank you, Dory.
Yeah, she has a really cute picture on
Yeah.
social. You can see it.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
And I just had a couple questions on the tour. Are those going to be the same tour? Those two dates in March?
Yes, we're going to do
Okay.
a morning tour on the 18th, and we'll do an afternoon tour on the 19th, so that if people can't make morning or afternoon, they can make either one. We'll have room for about 20. We're going to take 2 vans, so we'll have a room for about 20 participants on each tour.
Do you have a lot of signups already? Or-
We are not opening it until Thursday, coming Thursday at about 3 o'clock is when we'll open it up. And I'll have a press release that'll go out tomorrow. That'll detail that.
And is it focused mostly on wastewater side?
No, we're going to
Yes.
actually hit each of the sites. We'll start off with a well and booster pumps. Then we'll go up and look at a reservoir, and then we'll do a drive by. We probably won't get out at the solar field, and then we'll finish up at a wastewater plant.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
First thing, the finance report. We do not have a finance report for you this month, but we will have one in March. We're continuing to work with our auditors to complete our year end and our audit report. And then that will allow us to then have a more defined balance moving forward into this fiscal year. So we will have those to you next month. Also, there were a couple of questions about 113-3-110 Little Morongo. We met with the city today to talk about the plans they submitted. They did not meet the city's expectations, nor did they meet our expectations in the plumbing drawings that they provided. So we're continuing to work with the owner to try to get those cleaned up so we can then move forward. That hasn't stopped us from doing additional testing of that facility. We do not have those results, but if they do not pass our pretreatment program requirements, then we'll go down that path as necessary. Second of all, there was a question that I received regarding the Chillin property and the bill of sale of the, more specifically, the sewer in 19th Avenue. We received that today, and staff is going to start reviewing that for completeness and bringing that, hopefully, if everything is acceptable, to our March meeting. So things are moving forward on both fronts. That concludes the general manager's report for this month.
Thank you. Item 20, district council comments,
No comments, Mr. President.
but we are having a closed session today.
We are.
Thank you. Item 21, director comments and requests for future agenda items. Director Martin. Director Duff?
Just one, and I don't know if it's best for the for the upcoming workshop, not maybe this month, but maybe the one after. I'd like us to look at the assessment districts as all of them are concerned and all of the dates that go with that and kind of do an update for the board on where we are with each of those proposed assessment districts, their timelines, et cetera, if we could. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Meyerhoffen, did you have any director comments?
No, I'll talk to you after the meeting if it's got a few minutes. Thank you.
Vice President?
Nothing.
And I have nothing further. With that, we'll recess into closed session. Okay, we reconvene from closed session and we have no reportable action. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.